A shadow of sorrow has fallen over the Johannesburg Metropolitan Police Department, or JMPD. What began as a hopeful journey for thousands of young South Africans ended in heartbreak. The JMPD started a big recruitment drive on August 25, 2025, looking for 500 new trainees to join their ranks in the new year. It was a chance for many to build a career and serve their city, but this hope turned to despair when two promising young men lost their lives during the demanding physical tests. Their dreams of wearing the uniform and protecting their communities were cut short in the most tragic way, leaving families and an entire department grappling with an immense loss that no one saw coming. The first life lost was that of marvelous Michael Nyambe. He was only 24 years old and came from Raby Ridge, a community filled with hardworking people. Like so many others, he arrived at Roomsig Stadium with a heart full of ambition. He wanted to become a police officer to make a difference and create a better, safer future for himself and his loved ones. He saw the JMPD not just as a job but as a calling. His name, Marvelous, seemed to capture the bright future he was working towards. He was ready to face the challenges of the recruitment process, believing that his strength and determination would see him through to the very end. Just a few days later, tragedy struck again. This time it claimed the life of Zwelithu Tekete, a 26-year-old from Bromfisherville. He too shared the same dream of service. He arrived at the stadium on Monday, September 1, 2025, ready to prove he had what it takes to join the force. His family and friends knew him as a determined individual, someone who never gave up easily. For Zwelithu, becoming a JMPD officer was a path to stability and a way to contribute positively to a society often troubled by crime. His presence at the recruitment drive was a testament to his courage and his desire to be part of the solution. The loss of these two young men is a deep wound. They were not just numbers or candidates, they were sons, brothers, and friends. They represented the very best of our youth, individuals willing to step forward and take on the difficult and often dangerous work of law enforcement. They came seeking an opportunity to serve, to build, and to protect. Instead, their journeys ended before they could even truly begin. Their deaths force us to pause and reflect on the price of ambition and the responsibilities we have to protect those who are most eager to protect us all. Becoming a JMPD officer is not an easy task. The journey is long and deliberately difficult, designed to test the limits of every candidate. The process begins with physical assessments like the ones held at Roomsig Stadium. These tests are rigorous and unforgiving. Candidates are required to run long distances, perform push-ups, and conquer challenging obstacles like high-training walls. It is a true test of physical endurance, stamina, and raw strength. The department believes these trials are necessary to find individuals who can handle the physical demands of police work, which can be intense and unpredictable on any given day. The events that led to the deaths of Marvelous and Zwelithu show just how tough these tests are. On Thursday, August 28, Marvelous Michael Nyambe was participating in the assessment when he collapsed from what was later identified as severe heat exhaustion. The sun was unforgiving and the physical exertion was immense. Emergency Management Services, or EMS, who were on site, immediately attended to him. They provided initial treatment and quickly transported him to Yusuf Dadoo Hospital for more advanced care. Despite their best efforts, his condition did not improve, and he sadly passed away the next day. A few days later, on Monday, September 1st, the recruitment team faced another devastating incident. Zwelithu Tekete was brought into the stadium, but he was already unresponsive. It was a shocking and sudden turn of events. The on-site EMS team sprang into action once more, performing cardiopulmonary resuscitation, or CPR, in a desperate attempt to save his life. They worked tirelessly, but their efforts were in vain. Zwelithu was declared deceased right there at the scene, his dream vanishing in an instant, leaving everyone present in a state of shock and disbelief. For those who pass the physical tests, the journey is far from over. Successful candidates are invited to the JMPD Training Academy for 18 months of intensive training. This period is governed by a strict contract, and trainees receive a small stipend to support themselves. The training covers law, ethics, firearm handling, and advanced driving, pushing recruits to their mental and emotional limits. It is a transformative process that aims to turn civilians into disciplined and capable officers. The tragedies of Marvelous and Zwelithou serve as a stark reminder of the very first, and sometimes most dangerous, hurdle on this long path. The news of the two deaths sent waves of shock and sadness through the entire Johannesburg Metropolitan Police Department. JMPD spokesperson Zolani Fila officially confirmed the tragic events. He spoke with a heavy heart, extending the department's deepest and most sincere condolences to the families and friends of Marvelous Nyambi and Zwelithou Teketi. The department publicly acknowledged the profound loss, recognizing that these two young men were on the verge of joining their family. It was a moment of shared grief, where the excitement of recruitment was replaced by a somber and painful silence that echoed through the halls of the JMPD. For the families of Marvelous and Zwelithou, the pain is unimaginable. They had watched their sons grow into determined young men, full of hope and purpose. They supported their dreams of joining the police force, likely feeling a mix of pride and worry. To receive the news that their child had died while pursuing that very dream is a devastating blow that no parent should ever have to endure. Their homes, once filled with anticipation for a bright future, are now shrouded in mourning. The communities of Robbie Ridge and Bromfisherville share in this sorrow, grieving the loss of two of their own. The JMPD community is also deeply affected. The officers and trainers who oversee the recruitment process feel the weight of this tragedy personally. They are tasked with finding the best future officers, but they never expect to witness such a heartbreaking outcome. These events create a difficult emotional burden for everyone involved, from the recruits who trained alongside Marvelous and Zwelithou to the senior officers who lead the department. The loss serves as a painful reminder of the fragility of life and the immense responsibility they carry, not just for the city's safety, but for the well-being of their own aspiring members. In his official statements, the JMPD spokesperson emphasized that the safety and well-being of all candidates and officers are the department's highest priority. These were not just words, they were a solemn promise made in the face of tragedy. The department committed to supporting the bereaved families through this incredibly difficult time, offering assistance and standing with them in their grief. The loss has forced the entire organization to look inward, to reflect on its procedures, and to confront the hard questions that arise when things go so terribly wrong. In the wake of this tragedy, the JMPD has pledged to conduct a thorough review of its recruitment and assessment processes. The goal is to understand exactly what happened and to identify any areas where safety measures can be improved. This is a critical step. While the physical demands of policing will always be high, the department must ensure that the tests designed to find the strongest candidates do not put their lives at unnecessary risk. This review will likely examine factors such as medical pre-screening, hydration protocols, and how to manage extreme weather conditions like the heat that affected Marvelous Nyambi. This story is important for everyone, not just those connected to law enforcement. It highlights the immense sacrifices that young people are willing to make to serve their communities. Marvelous and Zwelithou wanted to be the ones running toward danger, not away from it. Their dedication reminds us of the human element behind the uniform, the hopes, dreams, and vulnerabilities of each officer. It encourages us to have compassion and respect for those who choose this difficult path. Their loss is a loss for the entire city of Johannesburg, which has been deprived of two potentially great protectors. The lessons learned from this sad event will hopefully lead to positive changes. Future recruitment drives may incorporate more robust medical checks before the physical tests begin. There might be stricter rules about when assessments can be held, perhaps avoiding the hottest parts of the day. The JMPD has an opportunity to set a new standard for safety and recruitment, one that can be a model for other departments across the country. By turning this painful moment into a catalyst for change, the department can honor the memory of Marvelous and Zwelithou in a meaningful and lasting way. Ultimately, the deaths of marvelous Michael Nyambe and Zwelithụ Tikiti must not be in vain. Their stories compel us to think about the systems we create and the duty of care we owe to one another, especially to the young and ambitious who are eager to contribute. As the JMPD moves forward, it carries the heavy memory of this loss. The best way to honor these fallen candidates is to build a safer, more compassionate recruitment process that ensures no other family has to endure such a devastating heartbreak. Their dream of service ended in tragedy, but it can inspire a legacy of safety and care for all who follow.